video tutorial is going to show you how to add the final bit of code to the detail view controller for our SplitView app here, showing Aussie attractions, and also how to organize the actual view controller itself, so the detail view, so that it shows the web page correctly. So we've added code for our master view controller and our master view header and master view controller implementation. We're going to now go to the detail view controller header file, after the line property weak non-atomic IB outlet UI label, which is going to have an area for the detail description label, we're going to click there, hit return, and we're going to open up the storyboard now and drag out an instance of our web view onto our view controller. So you scroll down until you find web view. Here it is. It's right underneath scene kit view. And I'm going to click, drag that out. And I'm just going to position it here. Top left corner of the detail view content goes here window. And I can stretch that down. But actually I'm going to show you how to resize this in a minute in the property inspector. But for the moment we can leave it like this. And then we're going to go up to our assistant editor. You can see we're using the latest version of Xcode here. And so the assistant editor icon has changed a little bit. And these overlapping rings. I'm going to click on that. It is contextual. It opens up the detail view controller M. I'm going to switch to the header file. So here we are, back with the cursor blinking. And all I'm going to do is control, click, and drag out to that window. I'm going to leave it set to outlet, but I'm going to call it Wiki View because I'm loading in wiki pages. The type is UI Web View. The storage is weak. I click Connect, and that's it. So now I'm going to switch to the detail view controller M file here and add the code that I need in here for the implementation file. And all I really need to do here is I need to go down to void configure view, so this method, and after it loads the detail, I'm going to go to that line, and after that block of code here, I'm going to add some custom code for the view, and it's going to be ns string asterisk attractions, actually attraction URL. So I'm creating a new instance of ns string here, and it's going to be equal to and then square brackets underscore, which is detail item. We get a hint there for that. And detail item description. Close the square bracket. And then I'm going to say ns URL, an instance of ns URL asterisk. It's going to be lowercase URL equals square bracket ns URL this time URL with string, so I get the hint there for that, and the string is going to be attraction URL, close the square bracket, and then the last line of code here is going to be square bracket underscore wiki view, and then load request, and I get a hint for that, load request colon, I'm going to use square brackets here for this, NSURL request, NSURL request, and then request with URL, and I get a hint for that. NS request with URL, and all that's going to be after the colon here is just simply URL. And you'll have the code here. We'll add the code for you to take a look at this. So that's all the code that I'm adding to the implementation view of this. And so the only other thing that I really need to do here, actually a couple of things with the interface builder, is to make sure that I set the size of the web view window itself in the property inspector. So I'm going to, while I've got this selected, and you can see I've got this selected, I'm going to close the assistant editor. The UI web view is selected. I'm going to go to the second property inspector here, which is the size inspector. The positioning is correct. I've got it X0 on the top left corner of the detail view window. 64 on the y-axis is correct. But the width, I'm going to set the width here to 768, and you'll see what this looks like when we actually run it in the simulator. But I'm going to set this to 960 for the height. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the detail title here. So I'm going to actually click up in the detail area, whoops, in my detail view controller, and I'm going to go to the attributes inspector, and I'm going to change the detail title here to Dave's great. Well, I'll just take Dave's websites. So you can put your own custom title in there, and you notice that it changes here to this view. And then the very last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the document outline, and you'll notice down in the left-hand side of the storyboard view, you see this little square, this little rectangle, and if I click on that, it opens up all of the elements of the actual app of the view controller. So it shows me the layout guide, the view, the web view. You can see constraints is in here as well. But if I go right down here to the master scene area, you'll see there's an element called replace segue to navigation controller. And we want to actually delete that because this is referring to, or it's looking for the code, which is the segue code from the master view controller header code, actually. The implementation code. We want to click on that and simply delete it out of there. And we're now ready to run this and see if it works. So I'm going to click Run or Command R to build it. Here you can see the master view title attractions is working, as well as the detail view title Dave's websites as well. And if you click on attractions, it loads the popover, or it pops up the master view list. I click on any of my sites and it loads the wiki page from the array, from the plist into the web view. If I click on the detail view itself, it dismisses the master view popover. You notice if I hold the Option key down, I also can squeeze to zoom and use this gesture as well. I can change my views. I can also switch to landscape view using Command arrow, and you can see here that it loads nicely also in landscape view. And by the way, these are great places to not only look at on the web, but to visit sometime. So you should definitely get down to Australia, especially Bondi Beach, which is where I grew up, believe it or not, right here on the Pacific. This is how to create a split view application in Xcode. Enjoy it.